Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. This is a commentary on good movies that are so bad that they're good. You ever seen a movie that is absolutely terrible? Starship Troopers, that it is just it's bonkers, but you'll watch it over and over and over again. Number 5 on this list is Flash Gordon. Good old Flash Gordon with Sam Jones in it. This is a 80s remake of, a serial that was way back in the 50s, you know. But this one is absolutely insane. It's crazy. He chews up the scenery throughout the movie. Sam Jones does. It has a good score by Queen, and I think that's what a lot of people listen to. It has a pre-Bond Timothy Dalton, but it is absolutely silly, and the lines are just like they're just reading them off the screen, off the cue cards, like Saturday Night Live. You know, that's number 5. Is Flash Gordon. Number 4, Mommie Dearest, starring Faye Dunaway. This tells you the story of how Joan Crawford allegedly was an abusive control freak by her daughter, Christine Crawford. No more wire hangers. He beat her and was a control freak. It was crazy. Faye Dunaway spends the whole movie, chewing up the scenery, overacting and everything. It's just absolutely crazy. That's just one of the many things that she does in the movie. Beats her with a belt, does all this kinds of crazy stuff, and it's just overdone. The movie's over the top. That's Mommie Dearest. Number 3, one of my personal favorites, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, this movie was directed by John Carpenter. What he wanted to do was he wanted to make Halloween movies, but make them as a theme, not with Michael Myers in them all the time, which really would have been a good idea had it stuck with it and done it wrong. But it tells the story of this old man brings these masks, and these kids put them on. They have fragments of Stonehenge on them. And you never explain how he does. Matter of fact, in the movie, he says, you'll never believe how I was able to bring Stonehenge over. But he never explains, but who cares. They put the mask on, and when they start playing that crazy tune, the snakes and everything else comes out. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. But they play it every Halloween, and people gobble it up and watch it. Number 2, The Room with Tommy Wiseau. Good old Tommy Wiseau sold leather jackets to finance this film. This movie is a bunch of disjointed scenes that make absolutely no sense. People come in the scene, say things like, I have cancer, and there's nothing ever done about it, nothing ever said about it. They make all these crazy scenes up top on this rooftop where they're throwing a football, talking about just silly things. The movie is only 80 minutes long, but you'll feel like you've spent 3 days watching it. The movie is absolutely bonkers. He tried to say now, it was a dark comedy. No, it wasn't. It was just a bad movie. That's The Room, starring Tommy Wiseau. And for honorable mention is The Matrix. That's right, The Matrix. Here comes the bad comments. That movie is just basically the story of people being used as batteries. Now, this movie is absolutely insane also. It's about 50 miles wide and about 3 inches deep. They never explain what the Matrix is. Who started this war? Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll just throw in some bullet time special effects in here to cover up the fact that this movie makes absolutely no sense. The Wachowskis painted themselves into a corner and couldn't get out. And the fourth one that makes absolutely no sense either. And then people make a big deal out of this, but watch that movie again. The movie's absolutely bonkers. And then at number 1 is Plan 9 from Outer Space, the Citizen Kane of bad movies. Now, this movie was directed by Ed Wood. The story of these aliens has come to Earth to stop humanity from creating this doomsday weapon. Oh, well, that doesn't really matter anyway because it makes no sense in the first place. They use stock footage for the battles. They're basically army films. Bela Lugosi died halfway through the movie, and he was replaced by Ed Wood's Dennis, who was 3 feet taller, but you weren't supposed to have noticed that. And then there's a scene where they're supposed to be in this plane, and all it is 2 chairs and a shower curtain. and you actually hear the shower curtain ring slide. The movie is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but it's a cult favorite. And I would say that, to me, is the absolute worst movie ever made. But I'll watch it. I even have a copy of it. That's Plan 9 from Outer Space. This is KDS Reviews, and KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. Won't you comment down below some movie that you like that is so bad, but you'll watch it every single time it comes on? This is KDS Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.